Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well this morning. So I'm not going to be doing the talking, but Chris is going to take over and give us the presentation. If everybody will just make sure you're on mute throughout the call, that would be awesome. And you can type your questions in the chat.
Thanks, Kenzie. Hope you're feeling better. That's a bummer, especially on a Friday. So hope you're feeling
I
better.
know, right? Thank you. I appreciate that. It's gorgeous here too. I was so bummed waking up not feeling well.
No, thank you for having me on. For those that are on the call that don't know me, my name's Chris Langille. I am the chief cook and bottle washer here at Advisory Evolved. We've been building websites for insurance agencies close to 10 years now. We also offer a lot of other side services as well, like SEO, video production, editing, pay-per-click advertising, all the stuff that kind of goes in with a website. We're really like a full-blown digital marketing agency for insurance agencies. I was actually an agency owner myself way back in another lifetime, but have always done some level of marketing, advertising, copywriting, and ended up kind of falling back on my, I would say, more natural talents. And it's been a fun ride. So today, gonna go through some tips and kind of an overview of how you can make your website successful. What are the components that make a website successful? And then I'll show you some sites that we've built throughout the call here, and really just hope to give you some ideas. Whether or not you end up asking us to build your site or not. I'm thinking that you'll take away a couple tips here that you can apply relatively quickly and easily to your existing website. The very first thing that I think a lot of agencies, I don't want to say they get it wrong all the time, but it's one thing that is very important, and that's really focusing on the actual visitor. In other words, you as an insurance agent or producer, whatever your role is in your agency, you are not the target market for your website. And I think a lot of agencies build the website for what they like and what works for them, and not necessarily what works for the customer. An example of what I'm talking about is like an insurance consumer. They don't necessarily know who all of these carriers are that you use. They don't necessarily know all of these associations that you might belong to. I think it can only really hurt you if there's a point of confusion as somebody is navigating through your website. So like the scrolling carrier logos, right? The logos of whatever association or group that you belong to, those should not be on your website. That's maybe a sharp opinion, but an insurance consumer doesn't understand who Dairyland Auto is. When I was an agent, we were having trouble selling carriers like Safeco and Travelers. The average consumer, they know who Progressive, Geico, Allstate, State Farm are, right? Because those companies advertise. They're not familiar with a lot of the carriers or the different softwares that people use in our industry, right? So why confuse the visitor when you don't have to? So I would say, look at your site and think about like what would the visitor, where would they want to go, or where do they need to go when they get to your website? A quick example is, you guys are probably familiar with Glovebox, right? Glovebox is a software that, as agencies, we know who that is, and we some of us use that platform, right? But an insurance consumer, they don't know who Glovebox is. They might think that it's insurance carrier, and they might be like, well, are you going to put my insurance with Glovebox? I don't know who that is, right? So instead of having a glove box link up in the top of the site, and you can see that I'm have Mike Crowley's website here, we use the language manage account. And when you click this, it takes you to the glove box portal. So the alternative to that is this, which I'll show you. Log into your account with Glovebox. Okay. An insurance consumer might be like, what is this? Right. So use language on your site that an insurance consumer would understand. And also, you are the brand. You are the brand of your agency. It's not an insurance carrier that you do business with. It's you. Right? And for that reason, like I think it's very important that you focus on the people and the personality of your agency. We talk to a lot of agencies and they struggle with having like a team photo that they can use on their website, or like headshot photos that they can use on their website, or videos they can use on their website. And we look at a lot of analytics for a lot of our client sites, and the second most visited page of most websites that we look at is either the about or the team page. That's because the consumer, they want to know who they're doing business with. And that's an important factor in their decision-making process. If you look friendly, you look like real people, and it's not some stock photo, that is going to help you when you have cold traffic coming to your website. So, take a look at your site and think of ways to interject your people and your personality. And I can kind of give you a couple of examples here. You can see, Crowley has this nice team photo, very friendly looking bunch of people here, right as you get to the first page of their site, right? We have another client in Richmond, Virginia, where as you navigate different pages of their site, we put these little quotes from people on their team throughout the website. So as you're navigating different pages, you're getting to kind of know who the people are in the agency, which I think is very important. Play off of the people and the personality, right? You need to focus on things that can differentiate you from other insurance agencies online. And the biggest differentiating factor is it's you. It's the people that are in your business, right? There's only one Kenzie Scott, right? There's only one Chris Langille. There's only one you. Let the customer know or the visitor know who you are. And because right at the end of the day, you guys are all selling the same carriers with the same elevator pitch, right? We're independent, we're family owned, we can save you money, etc. Right? A lot of consumers, they don't know the difference between an agency because a lot of us are saying the same thing, that our pitch is the same. So the biggest way to differentiate yourself from other agencies is to really focus on the people in the agency and make that stand out on your website, right? Get a group photo taken, have a video created of the people that are in your agency. And I'll show you some other video stuff here as we kind of go through this. But, get your personality onto the site, because personality will help you sell and differentiate yourself from other agencies. This is another example of a guy. He is one of our customers, Matthew. He's out in California. He focuses on contractors. So he does a lot of, contractor type policies, surety bonds. And he had these really professional photos taken, like actually at a job site of one of his customers. And as you can see, he's really adding a lot of his own personality to the site. And if you don't have any photos of yourself or your team on your website in the right places, people don't really know you. They don't have a great reason to do business with you because there's that kind of unknown component, right? This guy's really, I think at one point was trying to actually become like an actor. He's really good on video. He has a lot of different, like video stuff throughout his website. See if I can find his. Yeah, like he's had a lot of good video content created that we kind of have sprinkled throughout the website. This is another example of a client. These folks are in, I believe, North Carolina, Peak Insurance Group, really nice group of folks. And, they've went ahead and created a lot of content, video content for their FAQ page where, when you navigate through the site as a insurance consumer, you can click on these and they open up to an actual video explanation of the question. And they have had different members of their team create these little videos. And they've told me many times, their website generates a good amount of leads, and they get feedback from people that say, like, we saw the videos, like they were very helpful. Video is such a big component of closing leads on a website. I hate to say this, but this is the God's honest truth, and I say this in the nicest possible way. Insurance consumers are not reading your blog. They're not reading your newsletter. They're not reading in general. It's a video world. So I think, another takeaway from this is video. How can you interject video throughout the experience of the visitor? This is a great example, the FAQ page here. Another example is putting a video above your quote form. This has had a big impact on the ability to generate leads for this agency, GLM. This is just a very simple, like 60-second long introductory video. Hey, my name's Jennifer from GLM Insurance. I just want to introduce myself. Thank you for the opportunity. When you fill out the form below, a member of our team will reach out to you to help you with your insurance. Video in the right places will 100% improve your conversion percentage of leads coming to your website and filling out your form. Another example is we actually created an add-on for our website called Reels. This is actually a brand new. It's actually a brand new feature that we just rolled out, and it allows you to. Policy is going to give you an actual way of liability videos that pop up on different pages of the site. So you can see this actually looks like a social media reel. And this is really cool because you can put these on individual pages. And people come to the page and they see this little pop-up, and there's a call to action that will send you over to the actual quote page. So, then he has another video above his quote page or quote form that again explains the process, what happens when you fill out the actual lead form. When Mike Crowley started doing this, he told me, pretty much overnight, he started seeing a better flow of people filling out the form. We're really excited about this though, because you can actually set this up to where there's multiple different videos, and you could cycle through them by clicking these arrows. This is great if you are running paid traffic. So if you're running like Facebook ads or Google paid search campaigns, running traffic back to a landing page, and having good video content that captures your attention is very important. It's very important. So this is something that we're very excited about. And we have a handful of customers that already have a lot of content on their YouTube channel. So this works with YouTube Reels, and it allows you to basically repurpose your YouTube reels directly on your website, which is really, really cool. We also have a tool called QuoteVids, which is built into our client websites, and that allows you to create a personalized video presentation basically for each one of your leads. This has been an extremely powerful tool for our clients. We've had, I could go on and on and on about this. We have a lot of testimonials in our Facebook group and agencies that are basically telling me, we have 100% close ratio when we send this video proposal. The great part of this is that it's directly integrated into your website. Yes, you could use Loom or some other video recording tool to send out a video proposal, but having it integrated into your website allows you to, number one, brand it to your agency, right? You're driving traffic back to your website. That's important for many reasons, as well as SEO and how Google perceives the value of your website. The time spent on page, what Google calls like dwell time, is a sort of micro component of their overall ranking algorithm. So having video, having people come back to watch a video on your web property is a very good thing. This is what the client sees. So this is the URL that she sent to the client, and you can see that she introduces herself, and then she goes right into explaining the coverages that she's recommending that they buy. This was actually a new venture brewery. This is out in like the Wisconsin area. This particular client messaged me and said, hey, they went with us because we sent this video. Like that's what was the deciding factor, because we took the time to explain everything. And she was like, basically it was a layup sale for us. It also gives you the ability to customize these buttons. So you can click to call. This goes to a referral page where, you can also embed your scheduling calendar. And this is all personalized for each producer or staff member in your agency. So you have multiple different people in your agency that are logging in to use the site. Each person has their own, bio information, social media links, calendar availability. What you don't see right here, because it was already clicked, is on a brand new video proposal, there's a button directly underneath of the video that says accept quote. When the person clicks that button, you will be notified via email from our website that the prospect is ready to buy. So right away that they watched the video and they're ready to basically sign up with you. This is probably a big reason a lot of people sign up for our websites, is they're trying to get their hands on this tool. It's can't be understated. I mean, it's a huge tool for our clients, and a huge way to, again, differentiate yourself from other agencies that are just sending a PDF to their prospect. When you send someone a PDF attached to an email, and you say, hey, customer, great news, we shopped your rates with 5-6 different carriers, and we were able to significantly lower your rates and give you better coverage. You send them a PDF, they have no idea what they're looking at. Their eye just goes directly to the price. And that's ultimately what they end up making their decision on. And that's really not what you want as the agent. You want them to make the decision based on value, service, understanding the actual coverage that they're buying. So the video proposals are a great way to basically disassociate the prospect from price. That is, number one, going to help you sell the new policy, but it's also going to help you at renewal when their rate goes up by $400. They're not so tied to the actual price, because they actually understand the coverage and the value of the actual insurance that you recommended to them. And we've had feedback from a lot of our agency clients, and they're like, our customer told us, like, in 25 years, they never understood what a deductible was. And they finally understand, what deductible means, because we presented it in the video. And like, that's the type of feedback that our clients are getting from their clients. So extremely powerful tool. And we're very big on video. This, along with the social reels, is a great way to really differentiate your website from other websites, your agency from other agencies. The other takeaway, I think, is, when you design a website, I think a lot of insurance agents, and this is no slight to any insurance agent, but it's like having like an electrician, right? They're not a designer. Their brain does not work that way, right? And the same can be said for like an insurance agent, right? Or any other kind of small business owner where insurance very, very well. But are you a professional designer? Most agencies would say no. Like, I don't know what looks good. I don't know what works. Like, that's why we're coming to you. Simplistic design is really important. When you're building a website, you don't want there to be a million different links, buttons, sliders. It's distracting to the visitor, and it could actually negatively impact your conversion ratios on site as well. When you're building out a website, especially for an insurance consumer, and this is the other thing, is really, you need to understand how the insurance consumer works. They're coming to your website for a couple different reasons. They're coming there to either get a quote because their rate just went up with their other agency or carrier. They're coming to your site because maybe they had a negative experience with some other agency or some other insurance carrier, or a claim. They're coming to your website because they have a problem. They need customer service right away. In other words, insurance consumers, they're not in the most jovial mood when they are coming to your website. Okay. Understand their mindset when they're coming to your website. They're not there to read blogs or play around. Like, they're there for very specific reasons. And the way that you design and lay out and map out your site, your navigation, the buttons, the actual verbiage that's on the button, like, all of that stuff matters. And I've seen a lot of insurance agencies where they try to either do it themselves, or they try to be sort of the decision maker behind the layout, and the website becomes extremely cluttered. And really, less is more when you're talking about building an effective website. Again, especially for the type of consumer that you're working with. These are people that they have a problem and they want to solve it quickly, right? So the way that you design the site is very important. Another thing is social proof, right? We all know about the importance now of getting reviews on Google. We actually have an API connection that will automatically pull Google reviews directly from your Google business profile and display them on your website. Having this social proof throughout the website is also very, very important, right? You don't want to ever really have these buried at the bottom of your page or some internal page. Like, make sure that you have some reviews on the front page, like up towards the top or middle of the page, so that as the visitor comes to the site, they're seeing that social proof very quickly, very early on in the session. That's very important for the psychological sort of, we call it the eye trail. Like, where do you want the visitor to click, and where do you want them to go? And you can actually control where the visitor clicks by how you design the site. It was funny. I was on a call with another SEO agency, and they were trying to sell this software to one of our customers that, quite frankly, I didn't think they needed, and it wasn't it wasn't exactly cheap, but it was basically like a heat map software where it records the session of the visitor and it kind of shows you where people are clicking throughout your website. And I said to the guy, no offense, but the visitor is going to click where you make them click, right? They're going to click where the button is or where the navigation is. Like, you can control where they go by, how you lay out the site, the different options that they can click. The other thing is, like, you really never want to have any more than 6 or 7 items up in your navigation. I've seen websites where there's 45 menu tabs in their navigation, and that just it's not good, right? Because the more stuff people can click on here, the less likely they are to click on where you want them to actually click, which is, most of you want to get quote requests from the site. Let's take away other options so that they can get to the pages you want them to get to. You also notice that none of our websites, we never put social media icons at the top of the site. We do not recommend doing that because, again, where do you want someone to click? Would you rather them click over to your Facebook page, or would you rather them fill out your quote form? So anything that could take clicks away from your main call to action, I would either simplify it or completely remove it from the website, or just move it down to the bottom. You have the social media icons down here at the bottom. You don't necessarily need to have them at the top. And the last thing that I'll touch on is, how can you get more from your website? You have to promote it. And I think a lot of small business owners, they just assume that, a really good website is going to produce leads for them. And that could be the case. But you have to understand that people that come to your website, they're getting there because they searched for insurance online, right? Like, your website can't make people search for what you want to sell them. A billboard that's on the side of the highway, right, can't control how many cars drive by and see the billboard every day. So I say that to say, promote your website. Share the link every week to your Facebook page. Share it on your personal Facebook page, not just your business Facebook page. Share resources, share videos, drive people back to your website as much as you possibly can. You have to promote the site, right? It's not going to just reach out and grab leads off the internet for you. Okay. I think that's something that a lot of agencies get. They kind of assume that, they'll sign up with us and they'll say, like, how many leads do you think we're going to get from the website? And it's like, I don't know, because I don't know how many people are in your market searching for, insurance quotes or lower insurance or whatever. The volume of people in your actual geographical location is has a big impact on how many leads you're going to get. If you're in a rural area and there's only 5,000 people within, a 50-mile radius, you're not going to get a lot of organic search traffic because there's just not enough bodies in the actual pool of people searching. So, definitely, take the time to promote. If you have video content, Crowley has this other page on the site, FAQ page, where he has all these different links that go over to different, pages or blogs that have these videos in there, right? Like, once you have content on your website like this, like, he has a never ending, all of these links, he can share one of these each week and drive people back to his website. So I could go through a million different things. I kind of wanted to keep it shorter and give you guys time for some Q&A. If you guys, have questions, or you want to come off mute or just type your questions in the chat, for me, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to answer questions. If you guys are looking for a website, you know, if you are on this call because you're kind of like kicking our tires, if you head over to our website, just gonna show you real quick, and I'll post the link that you can actually book a demo from our website. There's like a little pop up. I think I already clicked it, so it's not going to show up for me. Oh, here it is. You click this, it's going to ask you for name, email, mobile number, and we will send you a link to schedule a demo. And we can kind of walk through, you know, what you're looking to do. You know, every agency is different. You know, like this guy, he's a contractors only. We have another client that does Medicare. This is his Medicare website. We can build a website for any type of agency, whether you are personal lines focused, commercial lines focused, Medicare, senior. We have built websites for financial advisors, tax preparers. Like, we can build any type of site within sort of that, like, what I would call like white collar industries, right? Insurance, financial, that kind of stuff. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Hey, Chris, I have one question. As far as like tracking the website activity, do you guys provide that? And is it like in a report? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, great question. So there was a point in time where we did have a connection with Google Analytics. What we were basically told from a lot of our clients is, Chris, we don't have the time to look at that. We don't even really know what we're looking at. So we don't have like a reporting software or anything like that we use for that. What we would do is help you if you don't already have Google Analytics set up. We have a couple of help videos that show you like where to click and how to set it up properly. Google Analytics actually just changed back in July. It's a completely different sort of tracking algorithm now. It's called G4. The old form of Google Analytics actually doesn't even work anymore. So some people might log into their analytics account and be like, oh my God, I haven't had any website visits for the last 6 months. And it's like, no, you probably have, you just don't have the tracking set up correctly. But Google Analytics, it's free. It's relatively easy to set up. And that's typically what we recommend people do to track everything. It'll show you a lot of different metrics. Like, it'll show you, how many visits per page, how long that visit was, like how long the session was, what like your bounce rate is. There's a lot of different metrics that Google Analytics will show you. There's also another one that I've heard good things about. It's called Fathom Analytics. This is not free, but it's very similar to Google Analytics. It has a little bit more simplistic layout. I've had a couple people that have used this. It's not terribly expensive. It's like up to 100,000 monthly page views, $14 a month. But I would recommend, just for starters, like Google Analytics, because like I said, it is free. And I'd venture to say a majority of people, they don't have the time to really dig into their analytics. Another thing that I would say, like, to that point, right, is like looking at Google Analytics. It's not, it's almost like doing a tax return, right? Like, it's not something that's going to help you make more money. You're really just looking at history of what happened, previously. A lot of times, people will reach out and say, hey, like, what can we do to like get the traffic up on our site? My response is like, promote your site, run some ads. Don't just, don't just hope and pray that people find your website through Google search, right? Understand that you are one insurance agency out of what seemed to be 100,000 insurance agencies, right? Like, it's a very competitive industry, and everybody is really fighting for the same traffic. They're fighting for the same search traffic. And so you know, running pay-per-click campaigns, running Facebook campaigns. It's really an investment to get more traffic. It's not, something that magically happens, but yeah, Google Analytics is a great tool to do the tracking. You could probably go to YouTube and find a tutorial video in 5 seconds on how to set it up properly, but that's what I would probably recommend. And that way, like, you can log into it anytime you want. Like, you don't have to wait for a monthly report or whatever else. You could log into your own account, and within a couple minutes, you could see all the metrics that you want to see. So I'm going to post the actual booking link into the chat real quick. If anybody on the call, wants to jump on like a one-on-one kind of demo, we'd be happy to do that. We're not a salesy bunch. We're not going to give you any kind of like, if you buy now, we'll give you this special deal. Like, it's just a conversation to kind of get to know more about your agency, what you might be looking to do. Our goal for each client is to try to provide them with a unique website, right? At a very affordable cost. I mean, you can see like all these sites, they look different, right? Like, we're not just using some template to build these out. We're mocking these up in Photoshop, and we do have some stuff saved that we can reuse to kind of speed the process up. But these sites are all unique, are all unique. So very clean, modern. This is another great example of people and personality. They do a great job with this. Any other questions?
I had a question as far as like, I get asked a lot about jot forms and connecting their website to the CRM that they're using, and kind of basically just which method is better for tracking information. And so for Agency Zoom, just because that's what we use, if we, like Mariah, she's been doing video quoting, for 3 or 4 years, and she's closing around 60%, 64% of all quotes that go out with video. And so I guess my question is, well, I have 2 questions. The first one is, do you recommend, if somebody's like attending events or, doing a giveaway, do you recommend attaching a jot form to the website so that they can easily fill that out and then push that info back to their CRM? And
Yeah,
then, go ahead.
my bad. I was just going to say, our websites come with a similar form builder software, so you wouldn't actually need jot form with us. But yeah, most definitely. I mean, and we have the ability on the back end to connect these forms to a million different applications. We push stuff into Agency Zoom all the time, Canopy Connect. We're actually building a custom API integration with CoverWhale, which is a trucking carrier that has API functionality. We're building an integration with them so that trucking consumers can get like a live quote directly from our client's website. But yeah, with Zapier, I mean, there's so many different things you can connect the forms to. There's hundreds of different apps. So any tool or any software that has Zapier functionality, or the ability to be zapped, we can push the data from the form directly into that software. So we do that with our PPC clients. We'll typically, if the lead comes in, they fill out the quote page, and that will automatically trigger an automation in Agency Zoom and put them in the proper pipeline step as well. So, and then some of our clients, they're using the round robin feature to disperse their leads out to different producers. So you could definitely connect the website into those other tools pretty easily.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, we're big on the integration stuff. You know, if it's something that doesn't connect to Zapier, we're always looking for, you know, ways to build out custom stuff. We actually have a custom integration with Canopy Connect as well, where the person can basically click a button and it'll sync the data from Canopy Connect back into the form. So if you have like a virtual assistant or somebody that is working for you that's doing a lot of your quoting and stuff, that's been a pretty cool thing. But we're big on the integration stuff. We're always, you know, we're always trying to connect to as many
Recording in progress.
users as we possibly can.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions? Feel free to unmute since there's just a few of us on the call.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you guys feel free also to email me if you have, you know, a question that maybe you don't want to ask publicly. I'll just put my email address into the chat, chris@advisoryevolve.com. Feel free to shoot me an email as well, and I can always reply back that way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chris, for giving us this demo and kind of, or just giving us best practices, really. Hopefully when people see this recording, they'll reach out to you and get some help, because I know there's just so much to cover, and, you know, it's important to know what you're trying to accomplish and having your website. Unless anybody has any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the call, and then we'll post the recording in the group if you want to come back and listen to it once it gets edited by our video editor.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, like you said, this call could be like 12 hours long. There's so many different, you know, there's so
Uh-huh.
many points, and there's so many different things that kind of talk about off of the website as well. It's it can be a little confusing for people. So yeah, absolutely. If anybody has a question, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chris. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend.
Pleasure. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day.